where you find a whole bunch of skull masks and ninja weapons in the middle of an apocalypse.
Yes. I guess before we get started, today they put out a. Did you guys see the new Fear preview trailer?
No, I didn't catch it.
Yeah, they put out a trailer for the new season of Fear, and it very much seems like the motif they are going for, at least in the first half, is Morgan versus Strand. Very much. I think the trailer was titled "It's Strand's World" or something like that. Like,
yeah, I see the headline right now: Morgan versus Strand in an apocalyptic showdown.
Yeah.
Oh wow, makes sense.
It's premiering like just about a month, a little over a month.
Yeah, I think it's October 6th if you have Plus. If not, it's like the 11th or 13th or whatever that day is.
So Strand.
So it's 10th if you have Plus,
10th.
17th.
Right.
17th if you have if you have regular AMC like most people.
Yes.
So he is the villain.
So it's interesting, yeah, because not to get too much of it away, but a lot of it is very heavily weighted on Strand wanting to rebuild society his way. So he's really focused on trying to rebuild things. So I would think if you're going to try and rebuild society, that step number one would be move away from the nuclear fallout. But
You think?
I guess we'll see.
He's got the skyscraper now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it ought to be interesting. At least there'll be some conflict, and I kind of like.
Plenty of that.
Yeah, and the fact that hopefully there's not. This will be interesting if there's no like big bad. That if it's literally just internal conflict, that'll make it for an interesting season. So.
Plus, he doesn't think he's going to die.
Yeah. Well, they kind of set it up a little bit with the conflict last season.
Yeah.
So this will be kind of like a natural progression and continuation. So.
That makes sense.
Yep. So looks good though. I mean, every time they show footage of it, it looks like it's. I just like the look. Just that whole hazy, yellowy, kind of post-nuclear fallout look to it. So I'll be curious to see where the show goes. So we'll know in about a month. All right. So we will.
This is Anchor Part 3 this week.
Yeah, seemed like it, right? Yeah. So season 11, episode 3, Hunted, and we pick up pretty much right where we left off last episode with the group getting attacked and going on the run. And
well, they go right into it. I mean,
yes.
They're just showing us the Reapers are not effing around.
Yeah.
The Reapers just coming. Cole gets throat slit. Duncan goes down. Gabriel and Negan both get tagged. Elijah just gets kind of disappeared, and they're all like, poof, all in this one.
They got taken down like they were amateurs or so.
Yeah, and these guys, I feel like the Reapers have the power of editing on their side.
Yeah.
It's like there's no one there, and all of a sudden, I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, I wasn't here. There we go.
Yeah.
Especially later with Aiden, like the scene in the mall where he gets attacked. It's like, where the hell these guys come from? They had to be standing right there.
Oh, they loved it. They loved doing that. First, they're not there. Then they're
It's the whole thing. They're like ninja.
Yeah. Horror movie.
Yeah.
A good music behind it too. I mean, it was a really kinetic way to start off the episode, I thought.
And another one that's very lopsided. I mean, I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but just like very dark, tense, tension filled. And then we flip to the Alexandria stuff. It's much more. Light is probably not the word. It's filmed in the daylight. It's much brighter. You kind of get not as tense. I'll say it that way.
But it is kind of like this is the hope. This is what we're fighting for, kind of thing. I mean, they make a point of showing the kids and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so a little bit of the cold open, like I said, it just kind of picks up where we left off. Maggie gets lassoed at one point, and her compatriot tries to free her, and then he gets taken. And I thought it was odd that she was just all alone. Like that was just weird. Like when they just showed her, like everybody scattered, and
it got quiet,
very quiet, and nobody within eyesight. And I was like, wow, okay. So yeah, and then she just kind of gets herself free, throws a knife at one of the Reavers, and then
I did kind of like it.
And then runs.
She kind of felt it, and then just threw it.
Yeah,
it was a cool shot. She just kind of turned around. She knew there was one at her back, and threw the knife, and then they got a smoke grenade.
These things are like the opposite of zombies, right? You have to be quick. Like if you put your eyes, like the whole deal, right? If you see them, it's too late. You're right. That could be a movie. If you see them, you're already dead.
It's like the Angel in Doctor Who.
Yeah, I think it is a movie. It was called Friday the 13th.
That too. And then on a list of other movies just like it, right? Or like Don't Breathe. It's kind of like a Don't Breathe kind of thing, but with sight. If you see the person, that's it.
They're definitely making their self rolls for sure.
Yeah.
Then we get the credits, and then come back, and we're back at Alexandria, and Carol and Kelly are coming back from going out on a run. And Magna, it's interesting because one of the things in this episode is they're trying to show how Kelly and Carol are kind of forming a bond together.
Yeah,
and
the mentor.
Yeah, and Magna kind of feels slighted.
No.
Yeah, she feels like they're she feels like Carol's giving Kelly false hope is the gist of it, but she can definitely tell she's trying to reach out to Kelly and communicate, and Kelly's like, no, I'm good, and just kind of moseys on about her way. So which doesn't help things. The fact that she's pulling away. Aaron confronts Carol about not being around because Alexandria is still pretty much in disarray. The walls are in shambles. Aside from the whole food situation and everything, the compound itself is in bad shape. And so
she's supposed to be helping.
Yeah, she's supposed to be helping.
But she's like, hey, I'm Carol. I don't do that.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm badass. I do what I want.
I'm Carol. Come on, Carol. Remember?
Yeah.
And she says she wants to go find the horses, and Aaron's like, well, that's not going to do us any good because we've got to shore up the walls. And Carol's like, well, if we had horses, we could do a much better job because they could pull and lift stuff that we can't. And imagine too is there. Food supplies dwindle and people aren't able to eat as much. They're probably getting obviously you feel weaker, less you have less energy and everything else. So again,
most people's brains probably didn't go here when she said she wanted to go get the horses. But at the end, what they ended up doing with one of the horses is why I thought she wanted to go get the horses.
Oh yeah,
she said she wanted to go scavenge with them. I'm like, oh okay, they're going to eat them because there are places that's a delicacy. You get
you can. I mean,
in France and other places. So.
If the choice is the town starving,
it beats cannibalism.
We eat a horse. I'm saying eat the horse.
It's like, well, we can eat this horse, or we can eat Fred over there.
Exactly.
Horse it is.
Horse steaks tonight.
Horse steaks it is. Yeah, hamburger for everybody.
And then we get the scene with Judith playing cards with the other kids. So we got a little
kids table.
Yeah, kids table, and they're playing cards. And they just kind of talk about how their moms, mainly between Herschel and RJ and Judith, and how Judith's like, oh, my mom always comes back, and then it seems like Herschel's seen some stuff being on the road, so he's a little less enthusiastic about things in general. So it's an interesting little little sidejack that we did there. Then we cut back to Maggie, who's on her own and finds this building out there. I thought it was interesting. Like she's trying to get in, and a knife gets thrown at her and misses.
Yeah,
She doesn't see anybody, and I'm like, okay, even if you're really strong and really good, like how far do you really think you could throw a
you
knife?
gotta be somewhere because it's broad daylight.
20 feet, maybe.
Yeah,
Like
it's not dark outside. It's broad daylight. You would see something.
Like,
that was the mall that we saw before, right? That was the mall where she came from, or one of her people like used as a base, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Because I know later she runs into the other people who were, who she knows.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so the knife gets thrown. She realizes she's got she's got to run. She finds another way inside, and I thought it was cool. She shuts the doors, finds a couple glass bottles, and puts them on the door the door handles, so somebody will open them up, she'll be able to hear them. I thought that was pretty cool. A nice little bit that they added there.
Oh, yeah,
Awesome move.
Yeah. Then a walker attacks her on the stairs, and the rail gives way. The walker falls. Then
Did they booby trap them?
I don't think so.
Because it felt like they booby trapped them. Because when she kicks the guy, it was like she lined it up to be right there, and it was the same exact one that broke off in the other steps.
Oh,
That's what I thought was weird. Yeah, because she looked at it and she felt it on the grooves, and then she went upstairs, and then that guy was behind her, and she lined him up and kicked him exactly at the same point.
You mean the Reaper guy?
Yeah, when she kicked the Reaper guy,
Well, but he went down the stairs. The walker went.
No, the guy. Yeah, the guy that came up behind her.
The walker went. The rail gave. She got attacked by a walker, and the rail gave way, and she threw the walker off the stair, and then she got attacked by one of the Reapers, and he went down the stairs, not over the rail.
I thought he went over the thing. Oh, okay, all right.
And then because he goes, she pushes him downstairs, and he actually gets back up again, and then comes after her, and she runs away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the scene right now. She kick the it was the walker that fell. And then the late walker. Next scene you're talking about probably.
That's what happens when you're so far ahead.
Yeah. Yes.
You're Dr. Beyond.
Living that plus life.
Right. Sheesh.
Dr. Future.
I can go back. I can go back into the future. I don't know.
Jim and I are not about that life.
Yeah.
So we got the Father Gabriel, and this is interesting because it's morning.
For last rites from Father Gabriel.
Yeah.
You
That's the next time we cut to him.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking
First, we got to do that.
No, so it's like daylight now, and he's staring at this ice pick that's stuck. I couldn't tell if the pick was stuck
in his hand
through his leg, or if it was just through his leg.
I could not tell either.
I'm assuming it was just through his leg, because that would be kind of awkward to walk with to walk too far without pulling that out. Anyway, I just thought it was odd that he waited till daylight to walk around with this ice pick stuck in his leg. But he pulls out the ice pick, and you can tell there's stuff going on with Father Gabriel.
Oh yeah.
Then we come back to Maggie, who's able to find Alden, and they both get attacked.
Immediately. This is the scene I'm talking about. Like, they're standing there, and then boom, two of them right there out of nowhere. I'm like, where the hell are these guys come from?
I know, because it's an open freaking
it's a wall.
Yeah.
You can't hide behind anything but a pillar, and the pillars are too far apart to get there that fast.
Is he hiding in the display of crop top t-shirts? I mean, what's going on? I'm like to get out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I know.
But Maggie's able to hit the one dude in the neck, while Negan comes up behind and brains him in the head with his crowbar. Maggie throws a knife at another one, and then there's a flashbang that goes off, and then they all kind of scatter.
Well, it was cool how she threw it, hit him, and his response was to throw, like he threw instinctively the flash thing so he can get away.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was a cool spot. Usually down do shit like that.
Yeah. And then we see that Alden's been cut up pretty good. Like he's got a couple good gashes on his his midsection.
Never pause to have a conversation in this world. Like when you're fighting these things, keep moving.
But Negan's like, hey, we've got to go. Like we've got to get out of here. He's like, I know theatrics, and these guys are crazy. Like I thought that was a cool bit where he's like, look,
he says, I know theatrics. Those people just told us how insane they are.
Yes.
And he's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
and again, him and Maggie kind of get into it, and he's like, "Look, I'm on your side." I thought that was interesting because he actually just says, "Like, hey, I am on your side," because she's like, "Look, we're not leaving him. We're gonna, he's able to finally convince her, like, "Look, we need to take him and leave because we have got to get out of here."
Right.
Then we come back to Carol, who's out there now with Rosita and Kelly, and they're trying to wrangle a horse. They got the whole crew out there now, going horse wrangling. Then we go back to Negan, Maggie, and Alden, and they hear like a bunch of screaming. And they find a few people from like Maggie's crew that came with her.
Damn,
and poor old Duncan didn't make it this time. And Maggie actually takes him out. She actually stabs him in the head so he doesn't.
I know, but damn, did they got to do the brother like that so fast?
Well, it's Walking Dead.
Another couple? Did he live another episode or two? Maybe. She took out his whole squad. Got taken out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So after that touching moment, we get back to Carol, she's hell-bent on getting these horses. And again, knowing what we know is to come, I think we know why. It has less to do with manual labor and more to do with making sure they all don't starve to death. The rest of them want to go back. And I thought this, Magda goes up and gives Carol a hug, just like, because this was interesting, because she, especially, it's a little weird knowing where the episode ends with Magda and Carol, but she goes up and kind of gives her a hug to kind of, like, hey, I get it, I understand, I know what you mean, or I know where you're coming from, I get it. And like, look, it's time to go back. Like, basically, she's like, give up the ghost. It's time to go back. And of course, they go a little further and they find the horses. And they're like, hey, I think Rosita says like they're headed towards the old dairy, so they could, they could follow them there and then hopefully pen them in. Which we'll see that they do.
It was Agatha all along.
Yeah, exactly. Then we come back to Father Gabriel, and this is where we get the intense.
Okay, this is the scene I thought you were talking about before.
Yeah,
maybe jump the gun.
Yeah, he finds one of the Reapers and who's down. He's clearly not going to make it. And Gabriel comes across him and he wants him to pray for him. And he tells him like, hey, aren't you a man of God? Like, goes on him and he goes, God isn't here anymore. And Gabriel kills him.
See, I had thought when he said to him, you're slower than I thought. You walk slower than I thought you did. That he had led him into some kind of ambush for a second. Because that's the first thing he says to him.
Oh yeah,
right.
He was waiting for him.
between this and the zombie we see later that's all charred up that says Judas, do you think there's like a religious Christian thing going on with the Reapers?
I'm guessing so.
I
Yeah.
know the future, so I don't. It's unfair for me to.
Just opportunity to match Kate Paul. I'll say future unclear.
Yeah.
Ask again later.
Ask me next episode.
Outlook
I'll
looks
tell you.
good. Yeah, I mean that's what I got out of that bit there.
Okay, I thought maybe I might be reaching that.
No.
It's between that and
In the future.
Yeah. So then we, after that scene with Gabriel, we get Maggie, and we come back to Maggie and Negan, and he makes a comment about people changing, and she's like, she tells him to stop pretending he's one of them.
Right.
Like he makes a point of saying people can change, and she's like, she ain't buying it, and she's like, look, you're not one of us. Stop pretending to be one of us. And what was interesting because I actually felt more sympathetic to Negan than I did Maggie in that moment.
you gotta realize too, Alden was part of Negan's crew.
Yep.
Right? He was like one of the saviors, and he was one of the first to come to Alexandria to switch sides. So I mean, there's as much history as there is with Maggie and Negan, you got history with Alden and Negan as well.
Because he even says at one point, I think I can't remember, I didn't have it in my notes, but I remember when he says it. Because he looks at, I think it was when he was trying to convince Maggie to leave. He's like, look, he even mentions like I used to, you don't have to tell me I was a part of his crew, and you know why
Negan was listening.
Yeah, he's like, do you know why I stayed with you and tried to do things at the Hilltop is because I believe in you. Like like this guy, no, he was ruling.
Well, he put it more poignantly to hit her at home. That she said, I knew you'd make the hard choices. I know you, and he left it off with, I know you would do the right thing.
Yes. Yeah, Negan will do what's best for Negan, or what he.
That's why I came off. The only reason why I was like, bullshit, you ain't changed that much. Because not to forget, you did leave her.
Yes.
And I get why. Because you're thinking that she's gonna come back and kill you anyway. So why bother? But still, that's a very Negan thing to do.
But I mean, and to be fair, he has changed. I mean,
he has,
maybe not completely, but
he can't give that speech after leaving her.
Right.
Staring at her fall back down and then leaving her and lying about not lying, but Neganizing it the way he's like, you can't come back and be like and try to give it. It's almost like you just missed the music, right? The sad music on the background about how I changed as a person. You can't go back and say that. Like he was better off saying, "Listen, it's only us three. You die, it messes up my chances of living too. So it behooves me to right. It's faster if as a team, it's better. We do better as a team than we would if we were by ourselves. That she would probably believe because you're thinking of your own self.
So then they come across a walker that's burnt, tied to a stake, and above him is a sign that says Judas. And at this point,
Walker's still alive. but Walker's
Yeah.
still moving.
Oh, right, good point.
I
Yes.
mentioned that, because Bird Walker's funny. This Bird Walker's staked out and has like the size of Jesus, but it's still alive. It's
Yes.
still moving. The cranium's still intact, I guess.
Yeah, and it's kind of like in an open field area because right after this, when they come across this thing, they start to get surrounded. Like the Negan and all of them, they start to get surrounded. And Agatha gets bit, and they start swarming around her, and she's like, leave, and Negan grabs her, and they take off because at this point there's not much.
Yeah, he almost grabs her like a father grabs a child to save them from themselves, and he just keeps walking like he doesn't even turn around.
Yeah,
that was some scene.
Yeah,
the way he did that.
Then back at Alexandria, Carol and everybody are back. They're back with the horses. And this is the point where Magda confronts Carol about Kelly and saying, look, you've got to stop giving her false hope about finding Connie out there. Like,
at least until the movie comes out.
Yeah. Just kind of makes a point of it. And she doesn't really outwardly like reject it, just more kind of like, okay, whatever. And then she goes and slits one of the horses' throats, and
just like that too.
Yeah, and then it's funny because then we cut to the kids, right? Yeah. And there's a big plate of what looks like spare ribs or something on a plate.
It says hi.
Yeah. And it's funny because Judith is usually like the leader of the pack, go get her or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I don't. And Herschel just picks it up and he's like, yeah, just chew it fast and just swallow it. And he's like, yeah,
more of that.
I wrote down when I'm on the road with my mom. What you find?
Yeah,
he would get it. Yeah,
but so eventually they all kind of take their piece of meat and have something to eat. So
that's right. It's all about the McRib tonight.
Yep. And then Carol goes to get Tracy and it's like, are you ready to go? And she's like, yep, I'm ready to go. And Magna just looks at her like, we just have this conversation about not doing this.
And Maggie says, I do what I want. I mean,
Carol
says, I do what I want.
Yep. So off they go.
Yep.
I'm Carol.
I'm Carol.
Yeah. I've got to work on the walls.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You do that.
I'm going to go play with horses.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then we cut back to Negan, Maggie, and Alden. They're on the road. They find a little place to hold up, and they kind of go inside. And this is where Alden realizes, like, it's getting ready to get dark. There's not much daylight left, and Alden says, like, look, you've got to leave. You've got to leave. If you don't get those supplies and get that food, then it's all for nothing anyway. Like we're all dead. So you've got to leave me here. And so
they mentioned that kid too because we found out he has a kid. And is it Alexandria?
Yeah, it's one of the. Didn't he? Man, who did he?
He adopted.
He adopted. I can't remember whose kid. Was it the one that Grace Under Fire and her husband like picked up? The remember they adopted that baby, but they're both gone now, right? Like,
that's right.
Isn't that the baby that?
That would make sense.
Yeah,
that would count for all the babies.
Yeah.
Right.
So he finally. This is when he has a conversation with her about why he trusts her and wants to follow her. So she decides to finally give into it. Gives him as much of the supplies as they can sacrifice. To, hopefully he'll be able to hold up and they'll come get him on the way back. And she even gets Negan's knife and gives it to him. And then and he I forget. Negan says I wish I would have taken a better note on this, but he essentially said, like, look, you're something about like he's not wrong, but you still have to decide. Like it's like you I can't remember what the context of that was.
Maggie, you have to make a decision. Like,
because they're just trying to decide whether to leave him or take it. They have to move on. He's telling them, but he's putting it in her hand.
Because she yells at Negan, "It's just easy for you, right? You could just choose to."
Oh yeah, and he says, "Yes, it is, but you still have to decide." Like, basically, yeah. I mean, yes, you may not be wrong, but you still have to make a decision.
Right.
And then he's holding that crowbar, and that that's pretty ominous too, where he's still got his crowbar. Because there was that scene earlier when they were still in the warehouse area after they got ambushed with the flashbang, and he brained that dude in the head, and it was right before the commercial cut, and he was standing there looking at Maggie. Maggie's looking at him. It's a really low shot, and they focus on that crowbar, and it's like dripping with guts and brain matter and stuff.
It was a meat hook. No,
I thought it was you could be right. I thought it was a crowbar, but
you could be too. It could be a curved in crowbar. Either way, it's disgusting, covered with blood.
Yeah, and it was like they held that shot too, and it was kind of like a little tense there. But I thought that was
yeah, because she saw Herschel. I mean, not Herschel. Glenn getting him again. That flash right through her head, and of course, through Negan, like, I know what you're thinking. I know where you are right now.
And he did not, again, this isn't, I'm going to appease everybody Negan, where he would have just like wiped it off on his pants or hit it behind his back or put it down. He's like, nope, I'm just going to hold this right here. It's like we both know what's going on, and I'm not shying away from it. I thought that was a good cut. So he hangs on to his crowbar, but he had to give up the knife, and the two of them, they, Alden seals himself back in, and him and Maggie hit the road. Yeah. And that's where we end.
That's the
Hunted. Hunted. So that's that episode. What do we Buster wise? What do we give it this week, Jim? What do you give this episode?
I give it a 3. I thought the stuff with Maggie and Negan was pretty decent. I thought the Reapers were cool, but all the stuff with Carol and the horse stuff I thought went on a little long, and I just didn't really see the point to it. And I don't know. It just didn't resonate with me. I'm sorry. With other people, that's different. But so I give it an average. I give it a 3.
Daryl, what do you give it?
Yeah, I'm kind of with the 3.5. I mean, the favorite scenes I think were how they were was Maggie in the group. I like those horror scenes. The stuff with Carol, I felt like they felt the need to put a B story in there anyway, just because. But I kind of knew where they were going with that. I just prefer to still stay with Maggie and as they trying to run. So yeah, that's just 3, I guess. I'm trying.
I'll be a little more generous. I'll give it a 3.5. I think the Carol stuff, I agree with you guys, was a little too, given the tone of this episode and the tension, especially too with the Gabriel stuff, it just seemed a little, like, especially that scene when they find the horses and they're like galloping across and they play that music. I was like, this is a little much for this episode.
You got this grim, gritty, tense action where people are dying left and right, and then, we're on our horses having fun.
Yeah. Especially knowing that, the next scene she slits one of those horses' throats and serves it up as dinner.
Yeah. I get it. Carol could be sweet, and then another time she could be
asking somebody to look at flowers.
Yeah, but we know this.
Yes.
We watched the show.
But I did like the stuff with the kids. I thought, again, that was kind of an interesting.
Yeah, the kid Andrew was.
Yeah, to kind of get their perspective on what's going on. And again, I think it makes an interesting dynamic between Herschel and Judith, you know, where even though Judith has been through a lot and had a lot of loss and had a lot of crazy stuff happen.
She still had a community.
She's been surrounded by a lot of people that love and take care of her, whereas Herschel's pretty much kind of been on the road for he's a little younger, but he's also been on the road for a little longer. So yeah, 3.5. That's why I hold it. What did the Facebook groups have to say, Jim Dietz?
I don't know. I've been banned by Zuckerberg for showing pictures of my butt. I'm kidding. At facebook.com/group/WDTV podcast, we ask you every week to join in and give us your Buster ratings on the episode. And some people did this week. We hope even more do next week. Kevin Barry starts us out. 2.5 Busters out of 5. I enjoyed the Maggie and Negan storyline, but the look for the horses with Carol and friends fell short for me and paired with the main story that did not seem to mesh well. Richard Chopper Cherry Cherrington, Bud Light enthusiast, gives 3.5 to the Horse Whisperers out of 5. The episode started out well, but seemed to fade out gradually. My only gripe is when Negan discovered the burnt Judas corpse, no one seemed to hear the approaching herd, and then all of a sudden they were upon them. They also had the power of editing on their side, Richard. Brent Jones, 1.5, long way to get Maggie and Negan pairing out of 5. They really spent this amount of time to get where everyone knew Maggie and Negan alone together. Come on, man. There's only so many episodes left, and they wasted a lot of time here, in my opinion. Too much time on the subway led to too much time needed to kill them all off. Sheesh. And then no update on the Commonwealth group? Come on. And I didn't even feel the Carol storyline at all. So far out of the gate, this final season has been disappointing to me. I don't need this much time spent on killing off Maggie's running mates. I just need the Commonwealth developed while they rebuild back home, just for it to fail. And in their darkest hour, Michonne tells them they found Rick, and they're sending the evac team to Alexander to get them all out. And Mike Jones also chimed in 3 horse heads in your bed out of 5. I have no belief whatsoever that the Reapers would be able to pull off all those ghostly Scooby-Doo moves over and over. It's like when Jason is around the corner of every Friday the 13th movie. If they're trying to sell them as tougher than the Whisperers, I'm not buying it. They're too good, too fast. It looks like Maggie's red shirts are done with their time on the show. Other than Elijah, I didn't really care much for the others. Speaking of Elijah, wouldn't he be one of the best guys to fight the Reapers? Apparently not. They've done nothing with him this season. Alden has never mattered to me on the show. I'm hoping if they make it back to him, they find him as a walker, and Negan kills him. Wow, that's cold. I do have a suspicion since he's in the church that Father Gabriel will find him and help him. How's Father Gabriel still alive at this point? The Maggie and Negan story lost some momentum for me this week. There's just so much back and forth about things I didn't care about. Get to the point. Eventually, one of them, hopefully Maggie, has to die. Wow, that's the end game. They're both not making it out of this. The horse murder was
That's harsh.
Yeah, a little bit. The horse murder was totally uncalled for. I get it. They're hungry. They invested us in the horses just so Carol could kill one. We all know Carol lives, so there's no chance the other horses will get their revenge. I was thinking maybe the horse whisperer is coming after her. The horses will be wearing the skins of all the dead horses. Next week, it looks like Daryl shows up and kills everyone. The Talking Dead bonus clip shows Dog in jeopardy. The dog better be okay. If they kill that dog, they might as well cancel the show. Thanks for everybody for chiming in. If you too would like to chime in and give us your Buster ratings every week, you just go to the Walking Dead TV podcast group on Facebook and do so. We'll be happy to read them on the air.
Excellent. Well, thanks everybody for chiming in. For a little light episode this week. Like I said, I think Aaron will be back next week, and we'll be back on track, and we'll hit the halfway point of next week. Will be the halfway point of this final season. Well,
wow, really?
The halfway point of the first third of the final season.
Oh, right, the first 8 of 24.
Yes. Cool. So be sure to check out Aaron's writings over at WeLiveEntertainment.com, as well as check out his podcast, Out Now with Aaron and Abe, where him and his co-host Abe talk about the new weekly movie releases, and keep you up to date on all the stuff going on in Hollywood with movies.
We just dropped an episode all about Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings,
yes,
which I enjoyed. I think Aaron's review was positive as well. But yeah, that's the episode they just dropped, I think, today.
Yeah, so definitely check out his stuff. And then, Jim, where can people check you out on the internet?
Every week you can find me and Dr. Next Week over here on Nothing's Done, talking about the week in TV and movie entertainment news. With Daryl and Donnie and myself, try to do it every week, but we do have varying schedules, so sometimes we have to skip. But we do that also. Daryl has been threatening to get me corralled for a DC TV podcast episode of DC All-Stars, so I've been catching up on a bunch of DC shows, so that's going to be happening soon, so keep your ear out for that. I intermittently stream on Twitch at Yoda Jones, and that's it. I'm sorry. Brandon Peters Show at BrandonPetersShow.com and Brandon Peters Show on YouTube, and where fine podcasts are sold, like iTunes and whatnot. We are going back to the World of Space 1999. We're hitting season 2. We just recorded the first 3 episodes, and the next trip to Moonbase Alpha will be out by the time this episode comes out. So check it out. We're doing episode look at season 2 of Space 1999. It's a lot of fun. That was a freaky show. I had no clue.
Cool.
You want to hear about Brian Blessed in a mohawk playing with a giant computer made of bongs? Check it out.
Man, I think when I was a kid, I kind of like I don't know that I've ever watched more than a handful of those episodes. I need to go back and revisit that show.
It's a whole different show in the second season.
Yes,
I remember that. Daryl knew who this is. Fred Freiberger takes over in the second season of Space 1999, and it changes direction. It loses half the cast. They redid the set. It really changed things up in the second season. That's where we are now. So check it out.
Cool. Daryl, where can folks find you?
You can just go to TaylorNarcoPodcast.com. All the